For all the materialistic wants, humans have sought jinn, fire spirits, for some have sought this creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, for nothing more than compassion, friendship, and love. But can a jinn provide companionship to humans as one human can provide to another? Jinns and humans are a lot alike, subhanallah. We eat, sleep, get sick, fall in love, get married, love and hate. But can these similarities allow proper companionship between humans and jinns, as one human may have companionship with another human? To properly answer these questions, some important factors need to be discussed. The first is how the human and jinn connect. Now, as we know, the methods for a jinn and a human to connect is either through spiritual means such as conjuration, obtaining a jinn that has been part of one's family for a long period of time, or because a random jinn seen something about you that it liked so much, it decided to become a part of your life, which is very, very rare. When a jinn is conjured, it is conjured for a specific reason. If a person is successful in their conjuration, a pact or an agreement between the conjurer and the jinn is made, almost like a business agreement between two humans. In such a scenario, depending on the agreement, made a companionship between the conjurer and the jinn can form over a period of time where the conjurer may be able to have some simple discussion with the jinn on topics different than what the jinn was conjured for, but such a companionship will usually be very simple and may even upset the jinn if it oversummoned just to have a discussion on random topics. When a person conjures a jinn, it is important to realize that the human contacted the jinn for assistance and not vice versa. So asking a jinn that has been conjured to go beyond what it was conjured for can prove to be difficult. But if the jinn is willing to give the conjurer some companionship, it oftentimes will be very vanilla. Having a jinn in your keep through spiritual means such as conjuration isn't the only way a jinn can come into a human's life. At times, a jinn may come into the life of an individual, not because the human sought the assistance of a jinn, but because the jinn decided to become a part of that individual's life for his own known reason as S. There have been situations where a jinn has been a part of a family for years, and as one person passes away, the jinn goes to another person of that family and stays around it. Then there have been scenarios where an individual may have something very special about them that attracts a random jinn who then decides to become a part of that person's life. Not only is this very rare, but it can become very difficult to handle for the individual, but that is an entirely other discussion. When a jinn willingly chooses to become a part of an individual's life, a very powerful companionship can be formed. It is a known fact that the majority of the jinns are not fond of humans regardless of the piousness and kindness of some jinns. Therefore, if a jinn on his/her own desire chooses to become a part of a person's life, that jinn will do its best to please that person and assist it far beyond the assistance a conjure gets from a jinn he/she conjured. Bringing gifts such as money is not unheard of from individuals who have jinns in their lives that came willingly, contacting the jinn whenever he/she pleases, discussing any topic they choose without upsetting the jinn, asking for help in a wide range of areas are some of the perks an individual can have from a jinn that chose to be with them inshallah. But does it compare to the companionship one human can provide to another human, or is companionship with a jinn better? While humans and jinns are a lot alike, they in many ways aren't because of how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God, created them. Also having a completely different world from ours makes even the best of jinn and human companionship limited. Being able to have discussions with a jinn does not mean the jinn would have information on any topics a human may hope to discuss with a jinn. Do remember they have their own world and worries, and only because they have access to our world does not mean they have knowledge on it. In fact, many jinn may not even know or care about what happens in our world, therefore making many topics of discussion undiscussable. Some individuals assume that once they get a jinn in their keep, they will get loads of amazing information and learn new things. Certainly, this is not completely true. Yes, jinn can provide information on some things such as spiritual healing and various occult-related topics, but how many hours can one discuss spiritual healing and occult topics for until they get bored? And even when discussing the topics of spiritual healing and occult, the information jinns have is not so vast that what you learn from them no other humans may now. In fact, some jinns may not even have much knowledge on spiritual and occult work, especially if they themselves have not spent much time in those areas, which many jinns have not. How jinns entertain themselves compared to humans also varies. The concept of television is not something in the grasp of many jinns. Therefore, discussion of movies or what we see on media is pointless. Even now, some jinns look at a television sets and are left confused. Jinns are created from smokeless fire, as the Holy Quran states, and we humans are created from clay. Even when one has an open third eye and they can see jinn, it is still not completely clear as one human sees another. Also, Regardless of how one opens one third eye, is seeing a jinn on a day-to-day basis is extremely hard on the eyes, making long face-to-face conversations difficult. If one knows what to look for, the eyes of a practitioner can tell at times if they deal with jinns or not. These factors alone can have a negative impact on a solid companionship with a jinn. Being able to clearly see someone you hope to be close to, being able to have normal conversations, and being able to see one another daily without any physical discomfort are found when humans deal with humans, not when humans seek companionship with a jinn. Also, how jinn are created and how we are created makes it extremely burdensome to coexist together, which only makes companionship with a jinn more difficult. The ability to physically connect plays an important role in some companionships. Being able to touch, hug, or even give your friend a high five, etc., is crucial to many relationships. But when the ability to touch no longer exists, as with humans and jinn, then the companionship can also be negatively impacted. Jinns are mysterious and amazing. This is beyond a doubt. But at the end of the day, they are a completely different being when compared to humans. Regardless of how hard one tries, regardless of how spiritually talented an individual may be, companionship with a jinn will never come close to the companionship one human has with another human. If one is blessed enough to have jinn be a part of their life and assume there is no longer a need for human companionship, they soon will realize how mistaken they were. The physical and spiritual connection that can exist between two humans cannot be replicated. The friendship that exists between two humans surpasses the friendship between a human and jinn on various levels, either it be respect, compassions, hobbies, entertainment, and mental and physical comfortability. Do not assume the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala known as Jinn, Genies, supernatural spirits and entities, which are similar to us yet still so different, will understand you better or provide better companionship than the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is just like you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.